and welcome to another FAQ Mondays. I am your host, Fluff. It's been a hot minute. I apologize. I've been basically on tour since June, but welcome nonetheless to episode 316. If you'd like to support this channel, feel free to check out the links down below in the description. Check out my courses, free stuff, Kemper downloads, all sorts of good stuff. And if you'd like to submit a question, that is also in the description down below. And without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? What was the one guitar that got away? I mean, I don't even have any photos of it, which is weird. There has to be some photos of it somewhere. I'm probably gonna go to my dad's house and see if I can't find some photos of this thing. But the first electric guitar that I had, I bought when I made the transition from acoustic to electric. And the guitar in question was basically a 70s neck through kit guitar, where you would buy the husk and you would basically put your own hardware on it. And my Uncle Dennis, my mother's older brother, had built this guitar in the 70s, and he had taken a sponge with some like turquoise and white paint and dabbed it, and it had all brass hardware, and it basically looked like a full-scale 25.5-inch version of a double cutaway Les Paul Jr. with super 70s DiMarzio super distortions. It was so sick. It was a great guitar. It was so cool. And then I kind of, me and my father modified it for a front jack, and we repainted it like a turquoise. It was a really cool guitar. And I got really bad grades one year. I basically almost failed 8th grade. And my father took the guitar that I paid for and sold it to a coworker and kept the money. That he did. He has since apologized for his actions. Don't go hating on my dad, who was doing the best he can at the time. I was a flunking pothead, to be fair. So, you know, do with that what you will. But that is the guitar. That is the one guitar I wish I had. And he contacted his coworker a few years ago, his former coworker, to see if he could get the guitar back, and he didn't have it anymore. Such a shame. Thoughts on Mammoth WVH and the guitar Wolfgang uses? Well, I am a huge fan of Mr. Wolfie. I am a huge fan of the Mammoth WVH stuff. Don't Back Down, You're to Blame, Epiphany. I don't know, like, the album is bangers, just riff-tastic, and I love it. And I'm a big fan of the Prototype. You're probably asking about the Prototype EVH semi-hollow stuff that Wolfie has been touring with and using for live shows. I think it's a great looking guitar, and I hope it makes it into production because I want one. The semi-hollow design is a very unique one. It offers a lot of cool tonal possibilities that a solid or a full hollow does not offer. So yeah, I think what Wolfie's doing is very cool, and you know, props to him for doing his own thing, but also being very self-aware of how the world is perceiving him in relation to his dad. I just think he's just handling it with a lot of grace, and good for him. Yeah, Mammoth WVH, good stuff. When are we gonna see that Kaizen review? They wouldn't send me one because they were all sold by the time I asked. Sorry. They're so limited. I couldn't even, there wasn't anything to send me. I would love to have it on the channel. I have been told by several people that have played one that were hesitant about it. Like I am a little hesitant about it because it looks, to me, it looks like one of those fighter jets you would see on an 80s Trapper Keeper as a kid. It looks like, you know, someone who has never seen a fighter jet before, that's what they're gonna draw. And they're gonna draw that Kaizen guitar, which is not a bag on that. I think that's cool, but, you know, how does it feel? And I am told it feels incredible. And I'm told it plays incredible and sounds incredible because it's a music band, and why wouldn't it? And it's Tosin, and yeah, I'm sure it's amazing. I would love to get one on the channel, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon because they just, they keep selling them. Stop buying them. Then I can get one on the channel. Do you think it's easier or harder being an independent artist now than it was 25 years ago? Oh, it is certainly easier being an independent artist now. You know, a lot of people forget or were not around for the traditional music industry system, and that was a bunch of gatekeeping. A bunch of guys at labels, big or small, would decide if you were worthy enough to put your music out. Now, it could be argued that that's a good thing. However, it could also be argued that that's a bad thing because, everyone deserves to put out their music if they want. All music should be available for you to discover and consume, right? So there is that. But, 25 years ago, it was massive, massive budgets. It was bands going into crazy amounts of debt to get anything out, which was no guarantee it was going to even do anything. Now we have online tools, we have a level playing field, more or less, and anybody can get on a Spotify playlist and have their career taken off. Look at all of the TikTok artists that are blowing up, and even before TikTok, look at the Billie Eilishes of the world. Like, she posted a song on SoundCloud and had record deal offers within a couple of days. With the song that she made with her brother in their bedroom on a MacBook. Like, that couldn't have happened 25 years ago. I think that's a wonderful thing. I am here for all of the new models and the new tools. Most people that don't like how it's done today simply don't understand or know how to utilize modern tools, or they're putting their own fate in someone else's hand. I'm speaking about this from someone who has built everything he has from nothing in a modern music industry world. My band hustled. My band is still hustling. I am still hustling. So yeah, I don't know. It's much easier now than it was 25 years ago, for sure. Portability aside, would you choose amps over the Helix on tour? Yes. Asterisks. I use a Fractal Live. I no longer use the Helix. However, I think the spirit of the question is, never mind the portability, would you use amps live? Yeah, of course I would. If I had roadies setting my stuff up and I didn't have to haul anything, yes, I think, but there's also reliability issues, power issues. My problem wasn't so much the portability issue, it was the inconsistency of real amps. So unless you're playing arenas with super, super stable power and giving you 120 volts out of the wall every single night, your amps would always sound different. But I love the modern convenience and the consistency of the digital stuff. Now, I am a Fractal artist. I use a Fractal Axe-Fx Live, and I just love it. I love it every night. And if I want to change something, if I'm feeling a different amp, I just have to go in and choose a different amp. If I'm not feeling the JVM, I'll go to a 5150 or a rectifier or whatever. And I feel like I am getting that. So I don't know. Honestly, money, no object, playing a giant arenas. My band is super huge. I would have probably, realistically, some sort of hybrid setup using both the digital stuff and the real tube amps. They both can coexist for me, for my material. So yeah, I think that was an answer. Is it realistic for a band playing opening/support slots at smaller venues to have an IEM rig? Let me tell you a little story. I was recently just on tour with From Ashes to New. My band Dragged Under was 2 of 4. The opening band was Dropout Kings, the homies. Shout out to Dropout Kings. They do not have an IEM setup. They are working on getting an IEM setup, but because they didn't and every other band did, it was actually a much harder audio setup for the front of house guy at the venue every single night to run wedges because they didn't have an in-ear system. It's actually more difficult and more time consuming, and your setup is more so if you don't have an IEM now, because if you have an IEM rig, you can just roll it on stage, plug it in, turn it on, you're done. Front of house doesn't have to do anything. The workflow is so much faster. If you do not have one, that's tough. Like a traditional system in a sea of people that have in-ear rigs, that's tough for everybody involved, including you, because it's going to take you 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to change over and to set up versus my band that takes literally 3 minutes to get on and off stage. So I want that set time to play, not to set up. I don't know about you, but so if you can ever get any form of an in-ear monitoring setup, I would highly recommend it. Also, you wouldn't be dependent on the front of house guy to give you a mix, stuff like that. So yeah, in-ear monitoring setups, if you can get one, is good. Thoughts on Wes Borland playing style / guitar tone? For me, he's not underrated, but no one talks too much about him. What do you think? I love Wes Borland. I've said it here on the channel in the past, sporadically. I'm a massive Wes Borland fan. I love Limp Bizkit too. I like them way back in the day when they were putting out, their first couple of records. I saw them live many times, but I think Wes's sense of guitar tone and playing is very, very unique. And what he brings to the table is a very, I don't know, it's a bassist. Like obviously he's influenced heavily by the guys like Les Claypool and Geddy Lee and stuff like that, but he's not a shreddy guy. He's just a very creative guy. And I just love his riffs. I could fanboy out about Wes Borland for quite a long time. Actually, that reminds me, I ordered his delay pedal and I never got it. I should go check that out. I got his delay pedal. Yeah, anyway, Wes Borland, huge fan. He's absolutely certainly underrated in my opinion. Fluff, what is your Xbox nickname again? I hardly find people willing to play Halo, and it seems like that it's a game that you enjoy playing. Have fun at the shows. I do enjoy playing Halo. I have been getting back into gaming recently. My gamer tag or my Xbox Live name is Riffs and Beards, go figure. And yeah, I probably won't answer you. Or probably, if I'm not in the mood to talk, I probably will just ignore you. However, feel free to add me if you want. Riffs and Beards on Xbox Live. Hello, it's me. Ever thought about recording a lesser polished, sludgier metal album compared to what you do in DU? Yeah, I've thought about like a Cancer Bats-ish kind of a thing maybe, or something like that. But like, honestly, I just don't have the time with DUs being as active as they are. I did have a couple of songs that I put out a couple of years ago under the name Death Like Destroyer, but that was more of like a cloud kickery kind of a thing. I don't know, maybe. I will never say never as far as doing like a heavier side project thing, but God, I am just so busy. I am so busy. But if DU took a break or was in between album cycles or something like that, for sure I could see putting together something pretty cool and sludgy and doomy and riffy, for sure. But right now, I don't have the time. Looking to get a 212 cab, any benefits on vertical or horizontal, and any recommendations? Mostly play heavier stuff. I have a Mesa Boogie vertical and I have a Mesa Boogie horizontal right next to me. I do like the vertical because it has the slant, and in that sense, the speaker will be kind of tilted up a little bit more at you, but I also elevate my horizontal 212 live. So it's not really a problem. A horizontal 212 is going to be much more directional than a vertical 212. I like the size of a vertical 212. Currently, I am on a Victory 212 for live use, a custom-made Victory 212 that I very much like. There's a lot of low end to that cabinet. But if you're looking for a 212, I mean, super budget friendly, the Harley Benton V30 212 is pretty damn hard to beat. It's like $300. It's like the cost of the speakers. I don't know how they do that, but Harley Benton stuff, Victory stuff, something used, the EVH 212s are really great as well. Just depends on your budget, but yeah, there's a lot of options for 212s out there. And this last question comes from my Discord server, also linked down below in the description if you would like to join my Discord and ask a question. This comes from Andrew. Had you not signed with Music Man after leaving Balaguer, which brand would you have endorsed? That I wanted to or would want to endorse? Probably Gibson. I love a Les Paul. I love Les Pauls. That's no secret. I love, Gibson RDs. For me, the Gibson would be a Gibson Les Paul live guy would be so sick if I could keep them in tune. But yeah, probably Gibson. If I hadn't gone Music Man, probably Gibson. For me, in my mind, it's like, it's always, Fender style or Gibson style. And it's either going to be Music Man or Gibson. Music Man, Music Man, Fender, Gibson, PRS. Music Man is a more modern Fender in my mind, and PRS is more modern Gibson in my mind. But yeah, I probably would have endorsed Gone with Gibson because they're Les Pauls. I love a Les Paul. Sorry. And that does it for this episode of FAQ Mondays. If you have a question, feel free to check out the description to either ask anonymously or head on over to my FAQ channel over on my Discord. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.